Pretty much,
Several,
it's pretty much the first time that
yeah. Here you can see the
chat.
chats.
Yeah, so people can put in their chats.
Yeah.
You want to stop Facebook? You gotta you gotta start Facebook, don't you? Like they won't be able to voice interrupt though, right? They can they can
No.
they can do the chat box, but they can't voice interrupt. Okay.
Yes. You can do. We started all of them, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Are they all on?
Mhm. Yeah.
Wow.
You can see the charts here.
Right there
Okay.
for all the boxes.
Now for YouTube
What
and
what about the other chats from the other boxes?
continue. Here, this is the TikTok. You will see the charts over here. The
Oh,
boxes, yellow boxes. You will
okay.
see that.
There's three boxes there, eh?
Yeah.
So
Right here.
YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, all there in those three boxes.
No, these are for TikTok only.
Oh,
You will see the others from here.
okay. Well, I don't know where I see them all at the same time.
It's not possible to click them in. Let's try this. Yeah, this might work. You have to switch from here to there again and again to see the charts.
I can't see them. As long as I see TikTok, that's the main one.
Yeah, yeah. From here you can see the TikTok.
Where can I see the TikTok? Where is it? Show me.
There it is.
Oh, right
The
there.
yellow boxes.
Okay. And the other ones,
Here on the OBS Studio.
where? I don't see where your pointer is. Oh, there.
Here at the, I don't know, it's right or left. Can you please
It's not.
mark your right
This is right.
on your left? Okay.
Okay.
On your left
It's over there.
side, you can see on your screen.
Yeah.
On your screen.
Okay. Is that for the rest of the
There,
chat boxes? For Instagram, YouTube, and
yeah,
Facebook?
you can see them here,
Okay. And the ones that are for TikTok, I'll see right on the screen here, I guess, eh?
here on TikTok. Yeah.
Okay, as long as we got TikTok. So this is where we go. Okay, so as long as we're live, let's go live and then people will come. Because
Sure. So,
they'll get notice.
okay.
Do we go live again?
Yeah.
Okay. And then people will just start showing up. Thanks for being my guide. I'm kind of like your guide, and you're kind of my guide.
Mhm.
In the past, I've opened it up like 15 minutes before 6, and so people would get notice, and then they get notice on their TikTok, and then they come and they join me.
Um, Someone joined. So, Mr. J, I am new there myself.
From where?
Now,
From where?
here,
From TikTok?
see, yeah, from TikTok. Someone
Hello,
joined.
Lincoln. Hello. Hello, Donna. Hello, Hidden Man White. Good evening. We'll just wait around. I've just opened up the channel here, and I'm sure you'll find it absolutely fascinating as to what it is that we're covering here. Hello, Donna. Hello, Abu. Hello, Eric. Excuse me. I'll put my tea out of the way here. We've got a fascinating show for you tonight. Excuse me. Hello, Goat. Nyasha, hello. JB. John Steele. Eric, hello. There's Gonzalez, hello. Jennifer, good evening. DB, hello. Tonight we're going to show you some pictures that will hold you breathless as to the advancement of consciousness. You know, many people have asked me, how would you describe consciousness? And so if I ask that to students, they typically say awareness, mindfulness, etc. This is just a little chit chat before we get going. But I want you to know that you can never ever describe consciousness. You can only describe the effects of consciousness. Look around your room. Look around outdoors. These are the effects of consciousness, but consciousness itself is about eternity and infinity. I mean, eternity has to do with time. It's eternal, which is no time. Infinity has to do with space, eh? And so once you understand that we are here, we've come down to this earth because we're bored on the other half of the sky, and we're ready to come back to be tested. So I want to thank you all for joining again. Last week at 6, I thought we had a pretty good class. Chat box is open, so you can always send hearts and comments when you want to. Anyways, eternity and infinity. You came here, down here, to what's called the plane of demonstration. The plane of demonstration is you really do create, either consciously or unconsciously. You need to understand that. We all create either consciously or unconsciously. We do. The problems are we make unconscious choices and then have to deal with these unconscious choices. And so as a result, it gets messy. And until you learn how to control this with focus, and it helps if you have a master that can teach you how to control this, because once you've got peace here, then you can have what's called heart-brain coherence. Now you start to trigger a fruitful mind, something that you can think about something and it comes to be, a fertile mind. Wouldn't that be great? If you had a fertile mind, but only, you'd want a fertile mind only if you were free of fear, guilt, and shame, worry. Because if you had a fertile mind and you were abundant with fear, guilt, shame, worry, guess what? It's uncontrollable, and you'd create quite a mess for yourself, a very huge mess. And that's what humanity has to learn, because you have to lose yourself in terms of, that's how you find yourself. You find out who you are by who you're not. And so each of us, we come to this plane here, and we find out who we are by who we're not. And as you get more mature, you can say to some people, no, that used to be me back then, but no, I don't do that anymore. No, I'm not that way. And so you, going forward, as soon as you realize that we're all here walking each other home, and we're here to learn what's called, listen, the mechanics of consciousness. The mechanics of consciousness. Like, how does this work here? This core right here in front of the spine, how does this work? What are the different levels of consciousness? What are the different brain waves? Exactly. And so when you understand that you are a spiritual machine, extraordinary, then you start thinking about it. You start contemplating it. Why do you want to contemplate it? Well, you want to become more efficient. Well, how do you become more efficient? By building capacity. If you have more capacity, you can do some very, very creative things. But if you have very limited capacity, you feel like you're being crushed, and you can't catch your breath, and you don't feel like you're living. You feel like you're existing, but you don't feel like you're living. And so as a result, each of us here, I can't say this enough, we're all walking each other home. We're all here to assist. And I can tell you now, the number one thing that catapults consciousness in the history of the world, you know what it is? Disaster. Because disaster and suffering are bedfellows. And you know what happens when you have a miniature disaster in your own bubble? Or if you have a bigger disaster, perhaps it's an earthquake, volcanic, okay, tsunami. You know what the three words everyone says? Oh my God. That's the three words. Because you know what? You want to connect. Because you're afraid of death. And so many over the years have just come to me and they said, you know, life, Zela, has driven me to my knees. And I say, well, that's usually a pretty good start. We can talk. We can talk. Have you had enough? And you say, oh God, I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough of this. And I say, great, because if you've had enough, then I can teach you. So, you know, as we started, now we're into it for 10 minutes. We're going to go for an hour. But I want you to know that you can get me, and you should really have a notebook if you're going to listen to my classes, because you're going to capture so many golden nuggets, so many jewels, so many perceptions that will cause you to just go, wow, I got to hang out with that one. And I go, yep. And so as a result, you need to understand the basic energy principle of everything that very few people know. It's a spiritual principle. And it's how you think. And it's called consciousness and energy equals the nature of reality. So let's just say that I get an idea that I want to, in my consciousness, that I want to get into the pen business. I want to create these. I think they're going to have a beautiful spherical ballpoint on the end. They're kind of made with ink. They are made with ink. They've got a solid attachment here where the cover snaps on. They can go inside your purse or your pocket with this, and they're good. They're not cheap. So I save up $10,000. That's where my consciousness is at. I go to the bank and said, would you lend me $100,000 to build these? And the bank says, okay. And so I've got the consciousness of the money, the energy. I start to find a manufacturer that can manufacture the draft that I have of this pen on the paper. And so that's the energy I'm applying. And then finally, after buying all the raw goods with the money that I have and with applying the engineering, then I come out with this product. So consciousness and energy equals the nature of reality. And so as a result, take a look around your home where you're sitting. Take a look at this computer. Take a look at this phone, for example. Somebody had to think of it in their consciousness. They had to apply the energy, and the nature of the reality was they made whatever it is that they focused on and stuck with it. And this was the end result. Look around your room. Look around your yard. Look around the world. Everyone, whether they know it or not, abides by this principle. So your life right now, how you doing? Are you clean on consciousness? Are you clear? How are you applying your energy? Are you focused? How are you doing on the nature of reality, the third part? Are you creating what you wish to create? So a true teacher will say, let's go back to the consciousness part. First off, if you want something, you're going to have to be at peace if you're going to be fertile. You're going to have to be at peace. This part here, you got to be at peace and you got to be worthy. So it means we got to work at cleaning up your past. So I teach courses on this so that you can listen to me over and over and over again. If you go to the CFT site, the cft.ca, and if you like what I'm teaching you here, make sure you press the like button and follow, because then you'll always be in touch when I start to teach, because I'm going to teach, I'm just getting going, I'm going to start to teach more than once a week. So if you really, really want to tune in to spiritual knowledge that is, I think, extraordinary, you'll really want to join so that when you get notice through social media that I'm holding a class or I'm going live, after a while you'll see you'll probably want to make time in your schedule to just say, I got to listen to this because it just fills me up. I feel like I'm being fulfilled here. I'm getting some great advice, and whatever I teach you, rest assured the divine will roll around in your head that little nugget that you're supposed to learn. So each of us here today, we're going to walk away with certain imprints that apply to our world. I'm an empath, so I can zero in on a lot of people, and I can speak to something that is specific to you. All right, I'm notorious for doing that. I've been doing it for 25 years. I'm not special. I'm unique. Okay, like my thumbprint. Okay, I'm not special. Don't get me wrong. I'm unique, and so you have to understand that I'm here for you. I'm here to assist the world. So if you want to dive deep on this, then go to the cft.ca, take a look at the courses, and if you take your cursor and you hover over a course, then you're going to see, once you tap it twice, I'll give you the verbal explanation on the poster of the courses that are there. The courses they go first, second, third levels that are very extensive, I must say. The first course is only 10 classes of me at 12 minutes each, but I give you lots to think about because the teaching is so rich. The second course, what's called Spiritual Awakening number 1, is 10 one-hour classes by facilitators that I have trained. There's 3 facilitators, one at 15 years, one at 20 years, and one at 25 years. These are very educated people, MBA, engineer, commerce grad, doctor of pharmacy. And so as a result, they understood something, and that is when they had their first exposure to me like you, they got really interested because before religion, there was spirit and science coming together. And what I teach is where spirit and science come together. That's where I teach. And so if you want to increase your efficiency while you're here, get control of the monkey mind, then chances are you'll want to get into the teaching. It's not my teaching. It is the wisdom of the ages. I had to go learn it from my teacher. You know what smart people do? They learn from their mistakes. You want to know what brilliant people do? They learn from other people's mistakes. That's what they do, and that's what I had to do. I mean, I come from just a commoner background. I rose in the corporate structure to become a shareholder in one of the largest investment firms in North America. And I quit when I was 40. I was done because I was selling my soul for the corporate goal. So that wasn't me. It wasn't me. So I had to understand there's another way to live. So either we're all going to compete or we're going to create. The answer is creativity. Creativity hath no competition. What was the competition before the cell phone? What was the competition before electricity? What was the competition before Kitty Hawk? The plane. I could go on and on and on. What was the competition for, take anything major, the car, the engine, the gas engine. And so as a result, you know what? Start thinking, what could I create? And you start thinking about creating something. And as you start to create something, you must understand it goes to the same principle. Consciousness and energy equals the nature of reality. But on the consciousness front, this is where I come in to teach you about it's how you think. It's how you think. And so as a result, you start doing some introspection. And what if I said that if you're going to have a fertile mind, that's one of the first things in consciousness you want to think about. How do I get a more fertile mind? And then I would say to you, now this is, before you came to me, you had a lot of experience. You had a lot of experiences. Some of them you got the short end of the stick, others you got the long end of the stick. I understand, it happens to all of us. But what happens is that if you want a fertile mind, you have to come to a point where you're at peace in consciousness. Our last contemporary master was known as the Prince of Peace. There was a reason. And so as a result, if you're going to get a fertile imagination, more fertile, you must be calm. What if I told you your divinity is in your tranquility? Think about what I just said. Your divinity is in your tranquility. What does that mean? You got to be calm. One of the most recent masters, they asked him, they said, how did you become a master? Because he was quite accomplished in terms of materializing things. You know what his answer was? Listen to this. It says it all. I never minded what happened to me. Whoa, 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 whoa. I never minded what happened to me. So could you imagine going through your life where you're not bothered by anything? Everything that happened adverse, you just decided I was going to go bigger than it. Will you be perfect? No. Am I perfect? No. Was Jesus perfect? No. But I can tell you that as long as you put your spiritual connection first, you're going to grow. All right? My name is Zalah, Z-A-L-A-H. You can find me at the cft.ca. Thank you, Hastu. You can find me at the cft.ca. You can cruise the website. There's quite a bit there. If you like what it is that you're learning here, you'll probably want to partake of the courses because they're very, very extensive. Okay, so again, the first one for a couple $100 is 10 classes, and me for about 12 minutes a class, but it's so rich. The next one is 10 classes of an hour each for Spiritual Awakening 1. Next one is Spiritual Awakening 2, 10 classes of an hour each. If you can't afford these, it's okay. Get a group together and chip in and have Tuesday nights or Wednesday nights at your place where you play this. The way that we've got the courses set up is through a facility that can handle 1 million people, and you have your own channel when you purchase a course. So you can stop for supper, you can stop for a week, go on holidays, come back, you go right back to your channel, and you continue with the course, your own education. So this is really, really important that you understand that there's no coincidence. I mean, why are you here? How did you trip across this? Well, you're going to get some real tidbits of information if you go to the website. At the very bottom of the website, there's the 4 links between Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and you can push on those buttons at the very bottom. You see those insignias, and you can see what I've put into each one of those, and they're not all the same, into each one of those facilities. And you'll be able to get tidbits of the knowledge that you'll learn by researching the CFT site and then going to the connections at the bottom to the social media. So I'm explaining this very, very simple because not everybody is sophisticated. So I'd much rather start off very, very basic. So let's go back to your life. Take a look at what you've done. Here's your consciousness. Excuse me. This is your consciousness. How are you applying your energy? Like, what do you do for a living? And the nature of your reality. Are you optimized in the nature of your reality? Are you creating things here in the nature of your reality that you don't like, that you're not comfortable with? Well, if you're bored with, then I can tell you now, boredom is the soul's way of telling you to move on. It is. Boredom is the soul's way of telling you to move on. And so could it be that your divine, your oversoul, has directed you here today so that you could listen to some new ideas in consciousness? Because we're all here walking each other home. I'm doing my best here after I've been a teacher of this for 25 years. I've published 3 books that I haven't really taken to the marketplace yet, but I will soon. They're all ready to go, soft cover and all. So you're here to be your best self at this time. You came from the other half of the sky. You had to lose yourself to find yourself. You had to lose yourself to find yourself. Think about that. And so many people that come to me and say, can I have private sessions with you? I want you to know that life has driven me to my knees. And I say, yeah, that's a pretty good place to start. I understand. Because when you've had enough, you will seek out how do you expand capacity so that you can enjoy life more. Because you can enjoy it more. You can, I'm telling you. But you have to go within. And if you don't go within, you're going to go without. You're going to go without your dreams. You're going to go out without being your optimized self. You're going to go without so many things. If you don't go within, you go outside as a priority. If you were my child, if I got you young enough, I would have taught you as your grandfather or as your father. I would have said this every day to you. Ready? I would have said, imagine things as you want them and not as they are, and you'll be guided to your goals by a power much greater than you. Woo, eh? Imagine things as you want them and not as they are, and you'll be guided to your goals and dreams by a power much greater than you. But it's all going to come back to consciousness, and energy equals the nature of reality. How you think and what you think you're worthy of. Now, if you've done some things that you're not worthy, I can assist in getting you past that. I can assist. Because the idea is that everything you did in the past, it's okay. It's okay. You were just doing what you thought you should do with the consciousness that you had at the time. Listen to me when I say that. Right. You were just doing what you thought you should do with the consciousness that you had at the time. Excuse me. But you also have to recognize on the other side of that coin is this. Destiny is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choices. Destiny is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choices. And so you look at the choices that you've made based on the consciousness. Are you ready to kick it up a notch? So the people that I take on and train, excuse me again, I had some beverage that didn't agree with me. It was a tea, and it's so powerful. Anyways, so going forward, the sessions of lifetimes that you've had, you keep coming back. And the idea is you're going to get lost in the illusion. It's like the fair. It's like the exhibition. It's like a stampede. And there's so many lights, and there's so many smells, and there's so many peoples, and you get crazy in the first part of your life. A lot of people do. And then as they're more mature, the sex, drugs, and rock and roll don't have, excuse me again, do not have the pull on them. They wish to go to their center. What if I told you there's a wave coming through the universe right now? It's coming right now. It started March 21st of this year. It's the age of Aquarius. In the age of Aquarius, listen to me very carefully. Wherever you're at is magnified. If you're confused, it's magnified. If you're into fear, guilt, and shame, it's magnified. If you're into worry, it's magnified. You'll go insane. The only safe place to be because it's magnified, peace and love. It's magnified. If you optimize it, it's like it's the best drug you've ever been on. If you've ever been on one, it's like, this is beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you can have it naturally. But you have to increase your capacity. So whatever is bothering you, you have to get beyond it. You must get beyond it. You must grow bigger in capacity. So, that of which you contemplate expands. That's a spiritual principle that I can teach you. That of which you contemplate expands. So, why are you not contemplating becoming more optimized? Again, excuse me. And so as a result, think about this. Calm down. That's where meditation comes in. I'm sorry again. That of which you contemplate expands. Imagine getting turned on to getting turned on with regards to your link, your spiritual link. Your soul is right under the breastbone, right here, center. The heart has been moved over a little bit to the left for the soul. You've still got your original soul cell in you. You do. And what if I told you the soul created the heart? The heart was the first thing formed in the fetus, and it just made everything else happen inside the fetus. Proof, spiritual principle, love has infinite organizing powers. Love has infinite organizing powers. Think about that. It's proof that love has infinite organizing powers. That's how you were created. So, is it possible that a true teacher can teach you how to get back inside your heart in love? Which really, the absence of love, you get confused, you get taxed, you get crazy. So, is it possible a true teacher says, look, we got to get you back here. You started here, you're going to end here in this life. Here, love. Love is the most important thing. The idea here is to come down here to the earth, see all the choices that you have, and decide once you've had enough that's got you short-circuiting maybe, where you're not optimized, that you decide, I got to get back to love. I got to get back to love. Love is sanity. Without love, you don't have sanity. You don't have sanity. You have insanity. I'm talking about divine love, not so much human love. It's very interesting because as you have a relationship, typically you give up your divine connection for the human love. So you give up your divine love for the human love. And then when that party leaves, if you're not connected spiritually here and you don't have them, you get brain damage. And so as a result, you need to understand what's going on here. And so is it possible that you can understand that love is the most important thing in your life? Can you understand that this wave that's coming through the universe right now with the with the age of Aquarius, you're getting magnified. The only safe place, again, is love and peace. And so what a true teacher says, calm down. Let's connect. Meditation. Meditation is different than prayer. Prayer is when you're asking for something. Meditation is when you're listening. But you have to listen. You have to be able to calm down monkey mind. And as you get more into this age, this has become very, very important. Because what should appeal to you is your ability to create intentionally. Could you imagine having the ability to create intentionally and it worked? Could you imagine? What kind of a life would you have if you had a creative life? And you just created it. And it just kept going. And you created it. And you had this ability to create. Your incidence of coincidence goes way up. Could you imagine your incidence of coincidence going way up? Coincidence is not happenstance if you really understand coincidence. I think that coincidence is just God remaining behind the veil of anonymity. Yes. Coincidence is not serendipity. It's not happen chance. No. Let me just explain. If I took a piece of plywood and I got a power saw and I said, watch this, and I cut a great big V out of the big piece of plywood, and I take that V and I put that chunk of wood over there, and we have tea or coffee. We go back out in the yard and I say, watch this. And I take that chunk and I put it in where I cut it out, and I said, look at that. It fits perfectly. And you say, of course it fits perfectly. You just cut it out. And I say, that's my point. The angles coincide perfectly. The angles coincided perfectly. And so your coincidence that you showed up today here is no coincidence. You're supposed to be hearing something that you're going to walk away with that will echo through the canyons of your soul. Yep. And you'll know whether or not you're going to mark your calendar for next week, this time, 6 o'clock, where I just assist. Because again, we're all walking each other home. So have I got you thinking? Do you want to dive deeper on this? I mean, who offers this type of service? Not just little tidbits of a minute or two on on TikTok, but live classes, unrehearsed, on the spot, weekly, that are about, I think, the number one thing in life, and that is finding your spiritual connection, becoming reconnected again. Especially after you've just come through the exhibition, the fairway, you know, where all the lights and the foodstuffs and the people are and the rides. Isn't it funny we go to a place called the Fair to be cheated? I always found that funny. And so you have just been in this, like it's a stampede of dynamics. And unless you understand that the only thing that you've got to do is go back to your center, you're going to have to go back all the way to your center, love. You started with here, you're going to end with here, the heart. You can be brain dead, but if your heart dead, you're dead. Okay? So a lot of people are very, very confused here with the dynamics. And what I teach is, through peace of this, peace of mind, you can have what's called heart-brain coherence. And guess what? This one here is the boss. Because I say to you, at the moment, you know, you're in a car accident, you can be brain dead, but still alive because your heart's still alive. But if your heart dead, you're dead. So the heart is where it all started, and the heart is actually where it's going to end. And it's supposed to have you remember that love has infinite organizing powers. Never mind how a lot of things are going to happen. You just have to understand why. Well, why are you in this class? You're in this class to say, okay, I need clarity. And I say, I needed clarity too, but I had to lose myself to find myself to get the clarity. And so it's a teaching. Is it my teaching? No. It's the wisdom of the ages. Did I invent it? No. I studied it. I jumped out of society for 7 years, if you can imagine, and I studied under a master in a foreign land. And one thing that there's many things that I know that you would find interesting. I'm jumping all around to just give you a real overview. But let me just say this. If you want to start to have peace of mind, right here, this is Iris. How confusion happens is because too much man-made stuff has gotten in this aperture for too long. Way too much. So what I do every day, as part of my way of being, is I'm up early, like before the first light of dawn. On an average, 4 a.m. I live on the edge of this 500,000 acre park. And so from my home to where I sit by the river is 2 minutes. And I'm down there and I'm looking at non-man-made stuff. This is how you're going to start to find your center again. So I'm looking at the sky, the clouds, the trees, the grass, the river. I'm looking at the birds. I'm looking at non-man-made stuff. That's got to come in here. And then you realize this is God-made stuff. This is Creator-made stuff. And again, this teaching is not about religion. It's about where spirit and science come together. Actually, spirit and science coming together were always known by the masters before there was religion. And then religion got into it. But they don't teach what Jesus said, what I can do, you can do also and more. If you meet a true teacher, it says, come here. We're going to clean up a few things. We got to get things on the same harmonic here first. You got to have peace. You must have peace. And so, is this possible? That you can have peace? Yes. Peace is everything. Just a second, I have to shut off my oven here. Hold on. I'll be right back. Thanks for that. So going forward, how important is peace? Well, peace and love are bedfellows. Peace and love. You need to remember that. So if you want to do peace and love, because I got you thinking, then perhaps we need to hang around for a while. Because peace and love, as it increases, your capacity increases to handle life. Because then not only can you help yourself, but you can help others. And I mean, we're all here to do that. We're all here to help others. We all are. But first, you got to have the capacity. You know, if you want to save lives, you got to go get your lifeguard certificate first, and then you can assist others. If not, you're going to try and save somebody's life in the water, they can drown you too. Okay? So you better know what you're doing. And what I do is I train teachers. So students as well, but I train teachers. The teachers that are certified consciousness coaches that teach the higher levels of the educational recordings that I put together for you. One's at 15 years, one's at 20 years, and one's at 25 years. Believe me, it takes a lot for somebody to stick around for 25 years. And I teach them weekly. And I've taught them weekly for that period of time. And then they became a certified consciousness coach. So you will be impressed. I'm telling you now, you will be impressed. So let's go back to why you're here. First off, it's boring on the other half of the sky. You don't improve on the other half of the sky. Hear me. No. The only time you can evolve is on this half of the sky. You go back to that half of the sky, you review your life, you rate yourself, you get to decide if you're going to return and when and in what family group. All of this stuff is really, really important. The R's, rate, return, review. Back when you go back for a life review. How did you do while you were here? Well, chances are you're divine. Had you come to a class like this, where the teacher said, no coincidence, if we hang around, you're going to start remembering. You're going to start remembering why you're here. You're here to have lost yourself, have the human experience, and get back to your center and put it as a priority. Priority, you heard me. You know, everything's important in life to students who come to me. And I say, well, yes, there's a difference between important and essential. Your arms are very, very important, don't get me wrong. But what's essential is oxygen. Because if you don't have oxygen, you won't need to worry about your body. So as we go this way, I got you thinking, what's essential? I got confused. Well, essential is your spiritual connect. Soul right here, beside the heart, under the breastbone. They've taken pictures at the moment of death where they see this light fluttering. It comes out of here, it's a little light. And body creases on an average of an ounce, decreases in weight. So there's a soul, there's the oversoul, which is right above you, which is in mind, and there's the great I am. So, soul, oversoul, I am. Or there's body, mind, and spirit of the great I am, like way up there. So you got a three-part system going on here. If I go from the top, it's the Lord, God, which is your mind, of my being. This is your being right here. So you have a three-part system. Where you get confused, or I got confused, and this is where most humans get confused and only use 10% of their brain, is they pay only attention to the physical. And they don't think about the other 2/3. Once you start accessing the other 2/3 of your being, then you can start accessing different parts, and you can know things that you never studied. That's right. How does that happen? It's amazing, actually. And so as a result, you are on this incredible journey. You are. You need to just step back for a while. Step back. What's step back mean? Meditate, where you start to sit down and just do nothing. Just, if you can sit down in nature, it's even better. But that's going to be up to you. But you're going to have to start thinking about taking time where not man-made stuff gets in these apertures here all the time. I mean, we're all busy. But you're going to have to decide that you want more capacity. Because the capacity you got right now is probably limited. And you know that you've got more capacity to handle it so you don't get rattled. Yeah. Where you can keep calm, carry on because your divinity is in your tranquility. Is it possible that you really, really do want to create, but unless you have the capacity to handle what you got now, you're too deeply bothered by it and you can't think straight. You got to create some free space. You do. So, in the essential drawer is calm, cool, collected. Meditation, where you're going to get good at it if I instruct you, and I will, on how you can control the monkey mind here so that it's not driving you crazy. Because again, with this wave coming through the universe here, wherever you're at is magnified. So again, if you got high anxiety, depression, fear, guilt, and shame, it's magnified and it will drive you crazy until you're divine. As you come to a session like this and you start thinking and going, yeah, capacity, yep, I gotta have more capacity. Well, if you want more capacity, then you have to devote time in nature first. Get yourself a comfortable cushion. As time goes on, I'll show you my meditation cushion. It's very comfortable. Allows me to be cross-legged. You don't have to do full lotus. You don't. You can just brush your legs, your ankles. And then you look around, especially at the sky. Whatever is bugging you or bothering you, let me give you an answer. Where does what's bothering you compare to the size of that sky? Because that sky is love. That sky is spirit. And you're going to go back to the other half of that sky when you leave this body. So when you go back for a life review, what happens if the Creator says to you, well, I gave you 100 years. That's 36,500 days. Did you give us 1 day for just you and I? And most of the people by far would say, I was busy. But I needed you here and here and here. How come you didn't assist me? And the Creator could say, well, your phone was busy, which means that you were tied up. You weren't calming down enough to listen. Remember, prayer is asking for what you want. Meditation is listening. Calm. Very wise man once said, you must go into your closet. Shut out the world. It's true. All the greats knew the answer to connect is the answer why you're here. So is it possible you came down here to your birth and you got involved in duality? So let's just say that's negative, that's positive. Okay? Let's just say this is your lifeline. Is it possible in your lifeline beyond the first phase? Because the first phase is where you, from 0 to about 20 years old, you grew up, but the body didn't grow old, in the first phase. Second phase is what you're in here. This is the phase of duality, right here. This is positive, this is negative. And as you enter this second phase, when you're 18 or 20, your life looks like a seismograph, but some of the times it's going like crazy off the charts. And then if you meet a teacher, the teacher says, there's a third phase. I can lead you into this. I give you some instruction. Third phase is the alone phase. Alone phase means the word alone comes from two words, all one. Here, all one. What does that mean? Well, me, myself, and I are all one. Body, mind, and spirit, one. And is there a difference between the brain and the mind? Yes. Brain is local, the mind is not. You can have a near-death experience, which I've had 3 times. And you can be lied out on the table unconscious and they're doing their thing. And you're watching from your mind. And you get to experience things from your mind. Even though your body's lying there, the brain dead maybe, or the heart stopped. And when they resuscitate you, you can say, hi, you're Sally, and you're Dr. Joe, and you're Dr. this. And you guys were talking about that. And then you realize there's me, myself, or the mind, and I. Pretty important. Very important. It's time that you start to develop the other 2/3 of your being, which then can occupy the other 90% here. But you get to do that by being here. Love is a priority. We're all here to learn lessons in love, you know? We're all here to learn lessons in love. We're all here to realize destiny is not a matter of chance, it's a matter of choices. The choices you made led you to the life that you live. I don't have any prejudices against that. I don't have any judgment. Everybody's got to do what they got to do. At this level of existence, there's different grades of evolution. Let's just say that if you're in grade 12 in your evolution and you're judging somebody, you need to understand, maybe that person, although they're 40 or 50 or 60 years old, maybe they're only in grade 3. If they are in grade 3, why should you judge them with your level of math or whatever when you're in grade 12? Who's the fool? What are you going to do? Say to them, hey, you're stupid. You only know this level of math. Come on, that's stuff. No, you let them learn at their level of grade, you know. You stop judging, because the number one pitfall quite often of humanity is judging. Well, how do you stop judging, Teach? Well, here's how you stop judging. You look for the best in every person, place, thing, time, event. You look for the best. And you're going to see, you start opening your heart, and you're going to start feeling better. And you go, yeah, that feels a lot better. I'm looking for the best. I love it. It's okay. They were just doing what they thought they should do in grade 3 or grade 4. It's not ours to judge, though. It's ours, you know, if you're above that, you just smile. And you just go, yeah, beautiful. We all should be looking for the best in each other. We all should. We're all here to help each other. And I want you to know, listen to me very carefully, with this wave coming through here, the number one thing that catapults consciousness way up is disaster, is suffering throughout time. 9/11, it didn't matter if you were a bum with a bologna sandwich on a bench or if you had a university PhD, 3 PhDs, covered in soot. You were helping each other. We all help each other in a disaster, you know. And what if I told you that there's going to be more and more disasters, if you haven't noticed? If you check the website, the CFT.ca, my website, the CFT.ca, you'll see a TEDx talk by me. And what I talked about in there is about how the weather is going to go to excess. And it's going to mean that as it goes to excess, people say 3 words when they're involved in a disaster. Oh my God, I lost this person, I lost this person, I lost my home, I lost my family, I lost this. Typical, oh my God. So what if I told you right now that things are becoming more excessive, which I gave that TEDx talk, I don't know, 5 years ago. Do you realize that in the Arctic 2 weeks ago, it hit 100 degrees Fahrenheit? First time in history. It melted so much, it went up into the atmosphere. And now you're seeing the flooding that's going on all over the place. They call it atmospheric rivers. And then you're starting to realize, oh my goodness, look at the forest fires. Oh my goodness, look at the volcanoes. Look at the volcano. Look at the earthquake activity. It's becoming more and more intense. I don't tell you this to scare you. I'm telling you this, that there's a sense of urgency, that you understand what I'm presenting to you here, and you go, I've got to connect here before I go back. I got to connect. I must increase my capacity. I have to connect here, because connecting is sanity. Yes, connecting is sanity. I have to be able to do that. Because in doing that, you're going to increase your capacity, and maybe you can help others like I'm doing to you here with you. So your time is very, very sacred. I'm not trying to fear you. No, I'm just saying be aware of what's going on that the divine is showing us. Don't wait until you're in a disaster before you connect, or don't wait until you're at death's door to connect. Do you want to know what the most depressing statement in life is? You get to the end of your life and you realize this is the end. It's going to be today. And the most depressing thought is this: what if my whole life had been a mistake? Where I put the outside world of people, places, things, times, events as a priority. I didn't spend enough time connecting, and now I'm about to go back and review it, and chances are I'll have to come back, because I can't skip a grade. You cannot skip a grade if you go back. You can repeat a grade where you didn't learn, and that's life. And so am I talking to you? You'll know if I'm talking to you. And again, this isn't about religion. This is about spirit and science coming together. Learning the mechanics of consciousness. And what I'm doing in these open sessions is I'm getting you to think, where you're going to say, I got to mark my calendar next Wednesday at 6. I got to listen to this. It feeds my soul. That's what I did when I found my teacher. It fed my very soul. You know what the teaching is? It was for me, and maybe it's for you. It was water in the middle of the desert. It was water in the middle of the desert. It was like, it made so much sense to me. And it's a teaching. It's not about religion. It's not about a cult. A cult is where the leader says, give me all your money, and give me, when you die, give me all your money, or do things my way. No. What I say is, listen to your heart. For God's sake, listen to your heart. Be silent. Be still. And each of you today are walking away with one or two things. One of the things that I'd like you to consider is what I call the S treatment. What's the S treatment? I wrote about it in my first book. It's sitting still silently at sunrise and or sunset. Sitting still silently at sunrise or sunset. How many more sunrises do you think you have? How many more sunsets do you think you have? How many more Christmases do you have? The next Christmas, will all the people that were at your last Christmas, will they all be there, or will some be gone? The answer is to create. And if that doesn't speak to you, then this is the wrong place for you. There is no competition in creativity. What was the competition for the Kitty Hawk? The phone, electricity. I could go on and on and on. There wasn't. We're all creators, you know. Seriously. We were born by an act of creation, and we were born here to get a feel for all the dynamics, but yet come back to creating. A very wise man 2,000 years ago said, what I can do, you can do also and more. How is that possible? It's possible on this half of the sky. This is where you get to prove what you got. But you got to rise above all the loose ends. You do that by increasing capacity. How do you increase capacity? Well, you understand what's in the top drawer and what's in the second drawer. Top drawer is essential. It's like oxygen. Bottom drawer, very important. I understand. Yeah, we all have to deal with important stuff. But the idea is you realize where your priorities are. You realize your priority essential. When you get a calling to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom. It's essential. Top drawer. It's important. But that you will do even though you got a whole bunch of other things to do and they're pressing for you. No, you got to do that when you got to do that. And that's all there is to it. And so are you getting this? Is this making any difference in your life? If so, maybe I could see some comments, maybe I could see a show of hearts or something alike. But I would urge you to go to the CFT.ca. Stick around there. Take a look at the videos. Study the site. Understand of where it can lead you to, because it's a doorway. This class is a doorway, and you'll know it's for you, to a whole new reality. Again, there's no coincidence. There's only timely exposure. You're led to what you need to know when you need to know it. You're led to what you need to know when you get to know it. Are you here? Are you doing this? Is this part of your reality? Is this part of your new reality? Are you ready for this? The teaching is open to anyone, but it's not for everyone. No. You have to be ready in your soul so that when you find this, like I did, I went, wow, where can I read more about this? Where can I be taught by this teacher? I remember saying to my teacher, he said to me, why are you so defensive? I said, well, the industry that I come from and the life, I distrust everything. He said, so what's your distrust? I said, well, I don't want to join a cult. And my teacher said, a cult? You have nothing that I want. I create what I want. So I laughed. I really did. And so as a result, he taught me something. He said, is there anything else you're concerned about? I said, yeah, I don't want to be brainwashed. He said, are you crazy? You need to be brainwashed. This here, I have to, if you stick around with me, I have to take this out, I have to put it on a scrub board, and I have to scrub it really good with your cooperation so that you put it back in and can look at life new again. Because you're not looking at life new. You're looking at life like it's a big bother. Life was never meant to be a bother. Life was meant to be part of your evolution, to rise above it, to appreciate it for what it is. But if you're constantly focused on man-made stuff that gets in this aperture, you lose your connect, you lose your way. And what if I told you everything adverse that's happened to you? What if I told you everything was about driving you back to your center here for your connect? Here, everything. I don't care if you accept that or not. But when you've had enough of all the things that really taxed you, you'll want to be part of the teaching and say, what is it? Well, it's the wisdom of the ages. It's not my teaching. I didn't create it. I didn't invent it. I studied it because I I had enough of religion. Religion, itself, you know what it means? Religious means steady. He studied religiously, which means that he was steady. And so as a result, the teaching is about God is within you. God is not out there in the sky. It's in here. But you have to align yourself with capacity to putting that as a priority. And the way you do that, peace and love. Peace and love. They're bedfellows, Wouldn't it be great to have greater capacity for peace or love and to be able to see the sweetness and the love in everything? Is that possible? Is it possible that you can see after a while what I call, I'm going to close with this, these adamantine particles? Well, what are you talking about? Well, all of us have seen these little wee, looks like little wee particles. When we're young, we could see them. I remember seeing them with my mom. And I said, Mom, what are all those little particles? They look like atoms or something. She said, that's nothing. It's just hallucination by you. And what I found with time, and as I became a teacher, was those particles are the first light of creation. But you can only see them when you're in your heart. So when you're kind and you're loving, you can look up and there they are. And so if I can, my learned assistant here is with me. I'm going to ask her if she can bring up the picture of this stream of particles by one of my associates coming into his head, and he's going to come out his heart so he can create, he can manifest. And so I hope I can bring up that picture for you, because once you see this picture of this individual, it's stunning. So I don't know if any of you can see this picture itself. I've got it up on the screen, but I don't know if you can see it. And Karima, I don't know if you're there still and whether or not you can make that happen. But maybe I'll leave it for next day. And so it's a stream of all these particles coming down because he's so focused. And these particles form matter. They're light particles. They form matter. And I can teach you all about this as time goes on. This is a tidbit of a very advanced teaching, because all those particles that come out of the sky are the first light of creation. They coagulate if you've got peace of mind with love, and they can shoot out this area here at your heart so that you can create matter. And that's how the masters have done it in the past. Can I teach you this? Yes. Yes. But you can only experience them and see them if you're at peace and love. Then you have access. Did I get taught this? Yes. I wept as they came through me and caused things to happen. But you must realize that you're going to have to become innocent again. In this third phase, wise men once said, you must become like a child, first phase here, to enter the kingdom of heaven. Well, what are the properties of a child? Love, innocence, trust, presence, non-judgment. Non-judgment. You do that by being the observer. A light heart. Can you do this? Oh, I think you can, but it's up to you. And so as a result, I want to say thank you. That's all I got for you. And again, if you like what I'm doing, go to the TikTok, give me a hearts, give me content, or give me subscribe, give me hearts, give me comments. I'd love to hear from you on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. All right, and hopefully you come around again, and we'll see you next Wednesday at this time. So I just want to say thank you, and God bless, and hopefully I see you soon again. I'd love to do that. I'd love to teach you. Okay? All right. Thanks so much for coming tonight. God bless. Hopefully we see you again. Good night, Garma. Thanks for doing that. I just cut it off too, like 30 seconds ago. That was really good. Thanks for being so. Thank you, Bill.
Okay.
So nice. Thanks for being so kind. How's your day, you?
Oh, busy.
You want a beer?
I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
So I do that all every day?
I know.
What's your point?
The point is that I don't do it every day.
Ah,
I got this milk from Bronya. Not for milk, for the bottle. It's good bottle. And stuff like that. French.
okay. You're drinking that? Is that what you want to drink?
No, I'm not drinking it. I'm taking it to lunch.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
So, come. Your timing was perfect.
How was your session?
Well, it was loaded, packed. So do you want a glass of wine? You want a beer? What do you want?
Glass of wine would be fine.
Okay. I got one chilling right here. I got the potatoes, I think, cooked. So did you have a good day?
Yeah, it was tiring. It didn't do much. That's the worst thing. Sometimes you just wait for an hour to do something. So we finished at like 4:30 and just sitting, and the guy said, okay, let's go to this place that we can go, so we can see it there and just sign off. 5 o'clock, and then jump on my scooter, drove to my car.
You scooter?
Yeah.
You scooter.
I have my own scooter. That's why I have to move to Ireland. You pay $40 to park a day by the island now. So I park.
Oh, I thought you were talking about today.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you help me?
I have my electric scooter. That's how I moved to the island and back to my
What
car.
island? What island?
Princess Island Park. That's
Oh,
where the
I see.
festival is.
Yes.
So I park, I don't
Oh,
have
I
to pay
see.
off to or anything, jump on my scooter, drove to Princess Island Park, then I stay there, I lock it up, and then take my scooter and come back to my car.
Oh, shit. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
It's busy right now if you park for the day, I don't know, it's 24, 50, 40, 24, 50, 40 bucks, 20, 30, I
Really?
don't know.
Really?
In downtown? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's not cheap. So I park in the distance, just took my scooter and cost me nothing. It's kind of fun to ride scooter and see people and, you know.
You guys, you
This
pick up
is
some
hard. This is hard.
Yeah, this is hard. It's good. This is like 10. I think there might be another piece on that side if you can find it for me. Okay. Throw it in the garbage.
Talk to Bronya. She said hi.
Here you go.
And her
Life.
Tulaga. And her nephew is kind of, it's might be boring for him a little bit because he doesn't do anything. He doesn't like to do anything.
Oh,
He just
so
on the
he's-
computer, she's working until 4:35.
That might be a little boring for him.
Yeah. So now they riding horses.
They are?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah. Because she has riding lessons on Wednesdays.
Okay.
She took him with her.
Does he ride?
He does, but the trainer or the coach says you need to have boots. And I said, I'm not wearing boots. Fuck that. I'm not wearing boots. If she lets me in, fine. If not, I don't care. So that's kind of his personality.
Oh, that's his personality?
Yeah, he's very like this is what the way I do things.
Is he German?
He's from Slovakia. He's 14, he's
Know it all at that age.
exactly.
This takes on.
You should change something to more practical, my friend.
Well, sorry, I've been on stage.
I understand, but I mean now. But don't go naked.
What do you
Okay?
want? I got off the phone.
Don't go naked, okay?
Well, I just got off the phone. I went to the door, give me a chance. Then you wanted a glass of wine, so Jesus, Lubo.
I'm just kidding, man.
I'm just trying to keep things going here. I cooked the potatoes ahead of time, so I made sure that they were done. So I've been reading a lot about urine therapy. Do you realize that it's the best vaccine in the world? I tried it once with my teacher way back, and it wasn't for me, but it's got a lot of natural qualities. For example, pregnant mare's urine is the birth control, Premarin. Pregnant mare's urine, Premarin. And that's what girls take to not get pregnant, eh?
Really?
Yes, it's the horse's urine. So, this has been really, really interesting. So I've been seeing a lot. Remember, I don't know if you remember Dr. Ross. Dr. Ross, he was out of Beautiful with us. You'd know him to see him. He's been on urine for 25 years, never got sick.
He's in there, huh?
Not for me. I must say I tried it, but it first got discovered when sailors went down and they couldn't drink that water out there. So they had to save their own water until they got rescued, and they found that everybody got better. Very interesting. Everybody got better.
Mother Nature, huh?
Mother Nature. Yeah, exactly. So,
I listened to that Bill Gates and
Wow, eh?
Pfizer CEO.
yeah, son of a bitch.
That's
They deserve it.
That's heavy duty.
Yeah.
What they can do to them?
Well, you know what? I don't
They
know.
got to pay some money and that's
No,
about it.
this is pretty severe because it affected humanity. I'd like to see them in jail. I'd like to see them.
Yeah.
So, I can tell you
That's
now,
what you
though,
like and what is going to happen.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put you to work because I'm gonna need a salad for us.
Okay.
So, this is where I can assist me. So, on that. And I don't know if there's enough lettuce here for 2 salads. I got tomatoes cooked. There's really good dressing in here. This is the
There's
best.
some tomatoes right there.
Yeah, cut some tomatoes up, put them in the salad. Here, use this salad bowl here.
So this and
Tomatoes?
doesn't go together. We have to split them.
Whatever, live right here. You can split them. Okay?
It needs to be washed, right?
Yeah. Please. You know, this is the greatest excitement of my day. music on here, I got some personality.
What's wrong with this?
Yeah, I gotta do this. That's cold, that's hot.
I want to
Cold,
just.
cold, cold.
All in hand.
YouTube? Oh, yeah.
It's a saver menu with choices under $3.99 all day long. All day under $3.99. Okay. Message received, universe. Enjoy all day choices under
Well, I thought we
$3.99
could eat
with saver
outside
menu.
today.
Sure.
That's okay with you?
Beautiful out there.
Joy is
Yeah.
making wishes with friends. Joy is being in good company. Joy is finding inspiration. Joy is the moments you share. Joy is laughing until you cry. Joy is knowing exactly where you belong. Joy is ageless.
No servus mladý. No, kde si? Akorát som došiel do po festivalu, som došiel k tomu kamarádovi. Do neho, do Calgary som teraz. Robíme si večerku. Bol som u detka včera, som tam prespal. Sme došli na... Čože? Nevolali sme, on volal Jennifer a on volal Dušanovi. A nás sme si nevolali. Som sa vyrobil dneska. Som bol celý deň som bol na festivale, teraz som akorát došiel k tomu kamarádovi, tak si ideme robiť večeru, ale ináč všetko okej. A to koľko musíme natočiť kamera, alebo čo? To koľko musíme natočili tú anténu, alebo čo? Ja. No. Tak to ty neviem, čo potom s tým. No vidíš to. Dobre. No vidíš to, tak to je dobre potom. Cesta bola OK, ja. A cesta už o 5 ráno tam nikto nebol. Došiel som do Calgary o 8. Potom som skočil na motorku a som sa odviezol na Island na koncert. No, na festival. To porobili, taká robota. Hodinu sedíš, potom 10 minút robíš, potom hodinu sedíš, potom 20 minút robíš a potom čakáš, kým ťa niekto potrebuje. Ale to je jedno. To mi nevadí. Čože? Ja, áno, dobrovoľne. Áno, dáme mi nájsť. Tričko mi dali dneska, dali mi nájsť, zajtra mi dajú nájsť. Aj ty si mi dal nájsť. Však som si to odrobil, mladý. No, dobre. Tak počúvaj, ešte si urob ten uhorkový šalát, lebo ja som tu nechal mladé uhorky, to som ti zabudol povedať, tak si urob uhorkový šalát. Nastrieľaj si uhorky, daj si cukru, soli,
I'm
octu.
gonna need you to clean the table in the back as well as like this. I'm just about ready to go on the States. So I need you to chime in here.
No, dobre.
Can you-
Tak sa drž. OK, ahoj, čau.
I'm just trying to coordinate everything for you.
Yes, sir.
And here you are taking calls, and I'm going, are you crazy? What the
That's
fuck?
that's
Is that an emergency? It must have been an emergency. I understand. I know it's an emergency. It's okay. I need your help in terms of making the table be in the back too, so I can look up these tables. right, one more time.
Good to go?
And maybe, is that cooked? What? Would you in your mouth? That's what.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. 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 Here. And, got the table all set at the back.
shades drifting over your weary eyes. The night feels heavy, but soft like lullaby. Your breath a tender rhythm echoing near, calling all the doubts I used to fear. With you, the darkness loses its sting. Every silence becomes trace the moments in your eyes, like faded stars in velvet skies. And every word we never say still finds a softer way. Between the pauses, something grows. A truth that only silence knows. Stay just a little longer here, where the night feels warm and clear. In the hush between our breaths, love is all that's left. Stay, let the morning linger on, like a half-forgotten song. In the dark we both confess, love is all that's left. Your fingertips, they barely move, but still they pull me into you. A slow confession in the dark, a fragile glowing spark. The air is soft, the world is still. We bend but never break the will to hold this fleeting perfect frame before it slips away again. We don't need the morning now.
when do you leave? Yeah, take a picture. Yeah. Okay. Just remember cutie. It's sesame, eh? That's why I love the roasted sesame. Before you ever tasted it. This is one of the best things I've ever had.
You want to ask me something?
Is everything set up outside?
Well, there's just shakedown. All the time.
Wrapped in warmth, no words disguise. In this calm where love resides, I'm in a gentle drift in your the saxophone sighs in the air, a mellow whisper everywhere. Your fingertips tread slowly, the rhythm where our hearts beat. Don't read the letters just the commonplace inside my mind. I'm in a gentle drift in your eyes, floating slow beneath moonlit skies, wrapped in warmth, no words disguise. In this calm where love resides, I'm in a gentle drift in your eyes.
Got it all.
Okay.
All right. This is yours.
Let the night carry us slow.
I put these always right here.
Lovers go.
Where's your wife?
Right here.
Okay. Can I fill you up? Can I fill you up? My pleasure. Very good mornings, my friend. Then I thought we'd go for a little ride. I thought I'd take you in the convertible, and we'll go for a little ride down to
My
Fishing.
head, let my head fly.
Yeah. What do you think? Can I do that with you? Sure. Okay. We'll go for a little bit of drive.